Where did that idea come from?
So as you know, I was working with a community organization at the time. So we were working in writers in the schools. And so I had the opportunity to like teach a lesson. So I was trying to teach about spoken word and how you could use spoken word to evoke emotion. And so I just kind of wrote them a silly poem to kind of get the things going. And after the kids really enjoyed it, I just started kind of painting, tinkering with it over the summer. And then I had a children's book. And so I sent it off to Fern, and that was that.
Mm-hmm. And it is a cute idea. It is a very cute idea. Tell us a little bit about the story.
So the story, it's pretty much inspired by my nephew. I think my nephew had been maybe 2 at the time. And so every time my mom would see him, she would come with like a pack of socks. I was like, why? Like, why does he need so many? And so it was at one point where I was finding him at my house. Like, he doesn't even live with me. And so I was like, okay. And I just kind of played with it. Like, what kid in the world, what kid in the world wants a pack of socks every time you see them? And so I kind of played with that joke over and over. And it just kind of became this thing where he had to kind of find the courage to tell grandma, like, this really isn't what you think it is. I don't like it. And so that's pretty much how the story got developed.
Nice. And I love your little drawing of the elephant, trying to figure out how to tell grandma. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very cute. All right. So what are your thoughts as you are, bringing this to life? Do you have new projects that you're working on? What's coming next for you guys? Brianca, you want to go first? What's coming next for you?
Yeah, so actually I am working on a new project. So my goal is to have a protagonist for each of my nieces and nephews. So right now that's 5. So I'm 1 in, so I have 4 to go. And the next one is a giraffe who goes to ride a roller coaster for the first time.
Oh,
I'm
so cute.
So I'm working on illustrating that right now, and I'm really excited. It's coming out really nice. I learned a lot about the illustration process the first time, so this one is a lot more smooth and streamlined, which is exciting.
So tell us a little bit about that. Like, what were some of the difficulties as you went through the first one?
Well, honestly, I learned a new medium, so I had never truly worked with watercolor before, and so that was just new to kind of work with those colors. And watercolor is sensitive, to say the least. So any drop of water out of place, it's a wreck. You have to really kind of start over. And so it was difficult going through that, just learning what chemical to use, which is the right paint to use, what's the right paper to use, how should I sketch. All of these like preliminary questions that I had to kind of work through with Fuzzy Socks, I kind of know the answer to. I have like a good starting base. How I'm working with symmetry this time, what's working and not working for me. It's just a lot easier once you kind of do it the first time, and you can kind of move from that experience rather than starting new. Every time you get a new medium, it's like learning how to draw again almost.
Mm-hmm. It's off topic, but like if you were, if you had like a client that was looking for an illustrator, what is like your process with the client to make sure that they're getting what they want, but you're highlighting your strong suits as an illustrator? So what would your process be?
So much trouble finding the right illustrator that could picture the things we see. But you guys are showing the opposite side of the coin. It's like you're the illustrator, and knowing what the author wants or seeing what they see is your challenge now. So I love that, because it's like, how do you see, when you both see the same thing, that's when you really gotta.
Even with it being something that I did myself, it's really important that you remain flexible in the process. Like, from the beginning, I know like when I was just sourcing for Fuzzy Socks, because I was so new to it, I really didn't have like a story map in mind. I didn't like think about what kind of pictures I would use. And now going into my next project, I've already kind of sourced inspiration photos so that I can know exactly kind of where things are going and kind of making a vision board for myself. And that's really kind of been able to help like streamline the process in a way, trying to do like the pre-work of knowing where I want to end up. It's really something I found to be like time saving.
Did you do a vision board or a storyboard or both?
So I'll like a vision board at first, like trying to decide like, okay, what kind of images do I want? What kind of things do I want to show? what do I want to highlight, and then I kind of go back and do like a storyboard with just smaller sketches, and then that's when I move over to using watercolor and like my actual sketchbook.
Nice.
Would you be interested in doing some commission
work? If the relationship worked and we could find the same like connection as like, you know, of course Julia and her husband have, Julia and Christina have, where they can kind of discuss and get on the same page. I think those are always the best collaborations. So I would like to work with someone I could connect with easily, the conversation flows, and then I would absolutely be open to like doing that kind of work.
Because that's one of the things I know that with Sandy and Amy, you know, like they were saying, you know, we have a lot of authors, and with authorology as well, other authors, we're looking for illustrators, you know, because I know that for me as an author, if I try to draw my own stuff, it would look really pathetic. I mean, you know, because like stick figure, that.
What helps bring inspiration, and what other artist helps bring you inspiration to be able to meet the needs of the children's book or whatever book you're illustrating?
I read a ton of children's books. So, funny, my first job ever was at Barnes & Noble. I would read the storybooks on Sundays to the kids. And so even from then on, I've always kind of enjoyed reading picture books just to kind of calm down. Like when I'm stressed out, I typically will read. Places you'll go, and I'm like, you know what? If Dr. Seuss had bad days, it's okay. And so in doing so, I always look at their art, and it kind of helps me not to be such a perfectionist. Because when it comes to children's books, as Araceli said, it's not like expressionism. It's not going to be like modernism. It's really going to be about kind of doodling and having fun and playing with colors. And so when I look at people like Steve Antony and Aaron Blakely and Dr. Seuss and Eric Carle, what I really see is people having a lot of fun with their medium and not taking life too seriously. And it kind of reminds me that it's supposed to be a fun project. So I should be having fun when I'm doing it. And then it can kind of translate from there.
Here.
It should be fun, yes.
Any specific art that has inspired writing or vice versa for your art?
When it comes to my writing or any of my art in general, it really comes from like the world around me. So I work a lot with kids. I hang out with kids a lot. So a lot of times I'm inspired by just the things they say and do. And then that's really what kind of encourages me to like maybe write out something funny they said or incorporate some weird thing they did into a story. That's pretty much how my writing process at least begins.
What age groups do you work with?
So right now I'm working with teenagers. So they're about 15 to 16. And it's really fun. Like I enjoy listening to them, and their sense of morality and their ideals are so pure still. And it's just nice. It's like, yeah, you know, they have a very black and white system right now. And so it's just nice to kind of be around that sense of justice and purity and innocence. And I love it.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just keep that, bottle it up and keep that forever?
Yeah, sometimes they do stuff and it's just so idealistic. And I'm like, I'm not going to take that from you.
Brianca, I checked out your website, and I saw that you have a YouTube channel where you review books.
Yeah, that's true.
Exciting. I love that.
Thank you.
Do you only review children's books, Brianca, or do you do like?
Well, actually, we do classic literature for the most part. So have a nice little community, and we get on there and we discuss just about everything. We just kind of do literary critiques as well as we talk about the different schools and lenses, and then we kind of go over. I think my work with Ralph Ellison has been really popular, as well as some of the reviews I've done over William Faulkner. But I do a lot of contemporary stuff, and people are sending me a ton of recommendations. So my TBR list is so big, and my little book community is really into Russian literature right now. So I'm reading like War and Peace,
Nice.
Anna Karenina. So interesting. They have some really cool recommendations. It's
Yeah,
fun.
isn't that interesting that because YouTube and especially people that have a YouTube channel and have a following and all that, that's so 21st century. And then to think that this group is reading, War and Peace, like that is really merging a lot of the centuries together. I think not even counting the heritage and all the cultural stuff. That's I think that
No,
I
that's
had off
it's
you.
so
I
true.
think that is amazing.
So when I started it, I really thought that it was going to be something I did for graduate students like me. When I was in grad school, I could never find like a quick way to cheat because no one.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be the person that kind of like trailblazes this and drops all my notes so we can all cheat a little faster. And it honestly didn't become that at all. I kind of ran into a lot of readers. And so I'm connected with people in Argentina and Nigeria and different places around the world who email me their book tracks and they're telling me what they're reading. And we get into these really cool conversations. Hopefully some people are using it to cheat because, yeah, I know I need it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go check that out. How long is each session usually?
It depends on the book and how much I liked it. So when I really don't like it, it's probably like a 7-minute book review. Then when I really like it, it can be like 25 minutes. So it depends on the book.
I love that. I love that. Cool. I think it's interesting, and I love, Fern, that we have these open sessions and we just chit chat and stuff because the stories that come out of this are just amazing, and I think that's what everybody's looking for is stories, a good story that you can share. And I mean, I'm going to go check out some of your YouTube, and I was like, wow, we should try an author talk kind of review where we review books and you, me, and Russell and Amy get together and just talk about these books. I think I'm just so inspired.
That's a great idea. Yeah, go for that.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things that I think we don't highlight the importance of books, in our daily lives, and I think that that's something that you need to make time for, just to have time to just read for pleasure, read to just expand your mind and explore a different culture. I mean, like you're saying, you're talking about Russian literature, talk of a different century even, right? And yet I'm sure there is so much human elements of just the same things that we're facing today. The same troubles are still around,
And I think that's one of the best things about literature. Sometimes we can get really closed-minded, and I think when we have a literature, you have no choice but to kind of be open to these different cultures, these different lifestyles, the different outlooks, and then take something away to kind of add to that human experience. Especially right now when everybody wants to be divided, I think literature is one of those great grounding forces that reminds you that yes, you can be here in Texas and read about someone in India who is facing some of the similar themes and concerns that you have, that we're all kind of living this same universal fabric.
Definitely, yeah.
What's your favorite book, Brianca?
My favorite book, I'm really a big Charles Dickens fan, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I'm huge into Dickens, so I really love Great Expectations.
Oh, wow.
I just think that Pip, again, I guess I just love that like idealistic view of the world. He kind of walked into the world like just very blinded and kind of blundered over life throughout. And I just thought that was really funny because I feel that way a lot. So I think it's probably one of my favorites still.
Very cool.